Finally, my friends, the spoilers for Chapter 6 of Sansei and the Heaven Saga have been released. This will be the last chapter of the first season of the Heaven Saga, which will now go on a break, but is scheduled to return in December of this year. Hello, gentlemen and Amazons. Welcome to another video here on the Sempre Quis Saber channel. I'm Wes, and today we're going to uncover all the details revealed in the spoilers for Chapter 6 of Saint Sansei Aten. We are witnessing the end of the first season of this manga, which is simply the best thing to come out of Knights of the Zodiac in recent years. And best of all, this saga is 100% canonical and official, since it's being made by the master Masami Kurumada himself. And it's the final saga of Knights of the Zodiac. Get your Cosmos ready, comment where you're watching from, like subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's start this awesome video. Always. My friends, the spoilers for this chapter begin with the battle between Athena and Kher. Kher, the deity who rules over destiny, isn't the type to waste time with mind games when his goal is right in front of him. Upon encountering Saori Kido, the reincarnation of Athena, Kher is the first to attack. But when he realizes that Saori is just a girl, a human, Kher hesitates for a moment. However, that fragility she despises lasts less than a sigh, and Kher once again goes on the attack. She decides to end Athena's lineage at that very moment, eliminating the only person who can threaten her plans. And while danger surrounds Saori, we are taken to Shun, who is in the village of Rodorio. The Andromeda Knight returns to the home of the elder who took him in. Apparently, this elder is not just an ordinary local resident. He knows a story that most mortals have already forgotten. He explains to Shun that the plants and flowers that bloom in the fields of Elysium are not ordinary vegetation. They are versatile plants, made of pure energy, that serve as dyes, healing agents for wounds that human medicine could never treat, and can even cure diseases that decimate populations. And something even more interesting is revealed. Only Shun, probably due to the purity of his soul or because he was the host of Hades, is able to touch and harvest them. The story that the elder tells takes us back to the past more than 200 years ago in the outskirts of a city called Florence. He says that in the past, the Garden of the Earthly Elysium was located on the outskirts of that city. It had a connection with the underworld and the earthly world. He also says that a young painting student, an artist who was searching for the perfect tone for his canvases, began to frequent this place in search of natural pigments for his paints. He was fascinated by the colors of those petals. But one day, he mysteriously disappeared and simply vanished. What followed was a tragedy. With the painter's disappearance, the flowers wilted. The vitality of the soil was drained, and the place became an arid desert. But something unexpected happened. A young woman in a predestined act picked the only flower that remained in that dry land. The wind, guided by fate, carried its seeds to the village of Rodorio. And so, over 2 centuries, these seeds germinated and turned into the terrestrial Elysiums next to the sanctuary. However, over the decades and centuries, everyone who tried to pick these flowers contracted a mysterious illness, a plague that led to their deaths. The people afraid began to fear the place, treating it as a divine curse, a beautiful place that could not be touched by human hands. As we know, guys, the painter from the legend is certainly a Loni from Next Dimension. And the girl who picked the last flower 200 years ago is probably the goddess Athena Sasha, who also appears in Next Dimension. And the curse of the flowers in this place must be something related to the remnants of Hades' Cosmo, as I've already been theorizing with you here on the channel. But, continuing with the spoilers, Shun Shunky suddenly appeared in that flower field a few weeks ago and was taken in by the elder. He didn't suffer any curse when picking the flowers. The elder, looking at Shun, reveals that he carries a great mission. He is the only one whose purity is so crystal clear that even the divine nature of Elysium does not reject him. Spurred on by the elder's words, Shun heads toward Elysium. The atmosphere of that place was filled with divine Cosmo, and Shun can feel it. He knows that something is wrong, and returning to the battlefield between Athena and Kher, it is said in the spoilers that they are in the Elysian fields of the world of the dead. And here, guys, I got really confused because everything indicates in the previous chapters that Saori and Kher were in the earthly Elysian fields. But the spoilers say that they are in the Elysian fields of the underworld, which is kind of strange, since the entire underworld was completely destroyed. Maybe the earthly Elysian fields are a portal to the Elysian fields of the world of the dead, since Shun felt a divine Cosmo in that place. I believe that in the full chapter, we'll be able to understand this part better. But, moving on, The battle takes a surprising turn. The satellite Las Comunes appears on the scene. She is an elite warrior, one of the leaders of the satellites, the personal army of the goddess Artemis. She was sent by Callisto under Artemis's orders to protect Athena. However, the satellite also has the secret mission to kill Athena if necessary. We also notice that she is not alone. Las Comunes brings with her the satellites ready for combat. The attack is coordinated, precise, and lethal. They advance against Kher, trying to contain the power of the goddess. However, the power of a deity is something that cannot be measured by the brute force of soldiers, no matter how well trained they are. Kher not only resists, she quickly annihilates the satellites. Kher's power is infinitely superior to the tactics of the satellites, who are defeated in an instant. It's a demonstration of the disparity between mortals and gods. Las, who was still alive after being defeated, becomes Kher's target. And when the goddess prepares to deliver the finishing blow to the satellite, Saori intervenes. She stops Kher's attack, who senses Athena's Cosmo coming from Saori. Since this is the end of Chapter 6 of the Heaven Saga, we know that in these spoilers, many important scenes are left out and also several interpretations are mistaken. So, when we have the full chapter, we'll better understand all these events. The sad part is that Chapter 6 is the end of the first season of this saga, which is scheduled to return sometime between December this year and February 2027. I'm sure that you, just like me, are very curious to know what will happen in the next chapters. And even though we have almost a 6-month hiatus until Chapter 7 is released, for those who have already followed the release of the Next Dimension saga, you know that this hiatus is much shorter than what we were used to. We'll probably have 6 more chapters that will be released from December to February, which is something very positive in my opinion. Apparently, Seiya doesn't appear in this final chapter, nor does Ikki from Phoenix. And the other 2 bronze saints like Shiryu and Yoga still haven't had their whereabouts revealed. They still haven't appeared in this saga, and we believe they might show up in the next chapters that will be released starting in December. Hey guys, Kurumada has shown us throughout these 6 chapters that Tenkai'n won't just be a saga of battles, it's a saga of mysteries, forgotten legends, and connections between the past and the present of the story. Apparently, he's trying to close most of the plot holes in the story during this saga. And the biggest mystery of this chapter, in my opinion, is the elder who is helping Shun. Who could this mysterious character be who has so much information about the past? Could it be the old master, Shion? Or maybe Odysseus of Ophiuchus? Share your thoughts on the story and who you think the mysterious elder is. Thanks for watching until the end. See you next time. Bye. Burn your cosmos to infinity.